Well, thank you for being willing to talk to me. I know I'm a complete stranger.
Yeah.
So before I ask you any of my questions, do you have any questions for me? And you're feel free to pepper them in when we're talking, but um, I don't want this to feel like you're on point here. It's
Yeah.
a collaborative moment.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I really don't know a lot about you and this whole project, so I guess if you don't mind giving me just like an overview of like
Of
all of what you're
course.
doing.
Yeah. So I'm a social scientist, and I have been on this walkabout after a pretty big canceling that I went through about a year ago. And so I have been
Oh.
trying to understand the shadow sides of social VR from other perspectives. Like cancel culture is
Mm.
definitely accelerated and amplified in social VR. It's just more intense and invasive when it happens compared to online, or at least I think so. But
Yeah.
also that concept of, you know, what I was canceled for, I believe I understand, and there were a lot of different ingredients around how it happened, but it wasn't because I was intending anything harmful. And for trolls
Mm.
specifically, many times they are intending something harmful. In their minds, it doesn't seem like they're registering it that way, but there is a I will use you and sacrifice your comfort and well being for my pleasure, right? That's the core
Mm.
exchange. And so I think there was a part of me because one of my first social VR experiences was in VR chat, and I did feel pretty harmed by trolls and just the chaos of the public spaces. And um, it took me, I think, a couple of years before I was willing to venture back into trolldom and like try to find some people who might be a little bit more like me, or less interested
Mm.
in that lizard brain process. And
Yeah.
then, that was easily 6 years ago. But after my canceling, I was like, well, so a lot of these people are seeing me as very evil, and the other side of whatever beyond evil is. And I know myself, and I know a lot of people know me as kind of the opposite of that. But why don't I go find out the people who don't care if they're evil or not? Let me go ask them some questions. And
Oh, yeah.
and so that was the beginning of the journey, and it's been about 9 months now. And mostly I keep getting these word of mouth referrals to talk to the meanest, worst trolls, most wanted and also unwanted trolls in here. And I'm not finding the evil people have been pointing at yet. I'm
Hmm.
just finding a lot of pretty somewhat basic and broken human beings that are just super
Hmm.
lost, and they're not super goal oriented either. It's kind of just like a little bit of a
Hmm.
hedonistic sadism vibe, but it's not permanent. I think there's temporary states of insanity that are happening there, and these people are very vulnerable
Hmm.
to some level of, because I've lost my identity as a troll, I'm going to go after anything that makes you special and you because it threatens my vacuum and my void. And so if I can
Hmm.
pick away your uniqueness, then at least I'm not alone over here in my lostness.